Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I just have to say that in my district, people have been concerned for decades about money being spent in Washington, D.C., that they don't understand why it's being spent, and they don't understand how it costs so much money to do the things that they probably could do themselves a lot cheaper. So I'm hearing different things than my good friend, Mr. Pallone, is hearing. Now, let me start off on this hearing and say that I'm proud of the work that this subcommittee did last Congress to oversee the implementation of the Clean School Bus Rebate Program. Additionally, I will say electric buses work for some schools, but this program was set up in a haphazard way, and in some cases, school districts have not received all the buses they paid for. Ms. Murley, as your office has since completed additional work on the program, can you provide any updates on EPA's efforts to appropriately monitor recipients' use of rebate funds?
Yes, as a result of our 2022, or our report on the 2022 rebate program, when they did do a second round of rebates, they put in more internal controls on the recipient's use of those funds compared to what they had done in 2022, which is not put any controls on the recipient's use of those funds.
And what happens when you don't put any controls on the recipient's use of funds? A lot of it gets frittered. I won't use waste, fraud, and abuse because my colleagues on the other side hate that term, but it gets frittered away, does it not?
The risk is there.
Yeah, substantial, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's a risk situation when you have no restrictions on the funds and they sit in accounts for a while or they're commingled.
You can say there's substantial risk. Come on, you can say it.
There's substantial risk.
All right. And is your office specifically aware of the Lion Electric case where the electric bus manufacturer is now bankrupt?
And we have seen the news reports and share the concerns reported. We don't comment. We have a longstanding policy of not commenting or confirming on investigations. Thank you.
I appreciate that. I mean, that tells me there's an investigation. I'm pleased. From an auditing methodology standpoint, can you help me understand how the use of rebates, and maybe it's different when you have substantial controls, but how the use of rebates makes organizations, agencies, et cetera, more vulnerable to having problems similar to the Lion Electric situation?
So the use of rebates is different, obviously, from putting out a grant. And grants are long-standing vehicles for getting money to recipients. So they have more controls in place. There's rules, they're written up front, they're standard. The rebate program was new, a new way of getting out funding for the Clean School Bus program. And so it increased the risks because it doesn't have the same level of internal controls that a grant would have.
All right, I appreciate that. In your testimony talking about the Clean School Bus Rebate Program, you state, quote, although the deadline for completing projects was October 2024, as of February 2025, only 43% of the buses funded by the 2022 Clean School Bus Rebate Program have been delivered to the schools, end quote. Is your office aware of any other issues that have contributed to so many of the buses not yet being delivered and recipients missing the deadline?
I don't have that information today, but I'd be happy to submit it for the record. I do know that we have continuing audit work related to the Clean School Bus program and oversight of the grant programs established there.
Now, I know you can't talk about ongoing investigations, but do you have any idea or any information you can share? And I'll open it up if somebody else has information to share on what happens to the school systems that were using Lion Electric. Fortunately, none of those are in my district, but that were using the Lion Electric because now they can't get serviced, can't get parts, and they basically have useless hulls, as I understand it from media reports. Do you have any additional information?
I do not.
All right. Does anybody else on the panel have any information on that particular subject matter? All right. Well, this is why we have these hearings, so we can identify problems, and we'll probably come back and ask additional questions at a later date. At this moment, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.